Welcome back. This is episode 4. This is Jessie, and with me is Eric.
Hello.
Hello. And today's April 11th, and this is Countdown to Geektown.
Closing of our first month.
Oh, yeah.
Podcasting.
Yeah, a whole month of doing it. Ooh, scary. But we've come a long way. We've learned how to adjust our levels and stuff like that. So
Still learning, but
yeah,
I'm just getting better.
Oh, yeah. Now, we had kind of a interesting week. We've had a whole lot of news drop in the last day because of the MTV Movie Awards or something like that. Movie or music, or I think it's Movie Awards, because Star Wars won some stuff. So they dropped a bunch of trailers on it last night, so we'll cover as much of those as we can. We're not in-depth reporting of it, but just show our excitement about it. But on top of that, we're going to go to the Walker Stalker Con because we had the opportunity, thanks to our good buddy Anthony over at the Nerdy Harry podcast. But unfortunately, I had to work all weekend, and literally work all weekend.
Yeah.
And
my wife got hurt, so I didn't get to go.
So we didn't get to go, but thank you again, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
And we got
he had fun. You
Yeah.
can check his channel out. You can see all his videos.
Yeah, he looked like he
pictures.
had fun for sure. But we got the Fan Expo coming up May, yeah, at the end of May, and then I'm gonna go to the other one that's just mainly comic books, the Comic and Horror Convention.
Is that the one in June?
At the fairgrounds, yeah.
Bonnaroo.
Yeah, it's the day before my birthday there. But anyway, so Eric, you got any news for us this week? I got some, and we'll go what we got.
First thing I have is the Swiss Army Man trailer.
Oh, here we go.
You watched it?
Yeah, we watched it here.
Okay. I couldn't remember if we touched on it last week, but
I've watched it one other time other than that.
I've watched it like 4 or 5 times. It's so weird.
I tried to show my wife it. And
She didn't like it?
No, she did, but it was just like, I can't really explain it.
You can't explain it. You need to go on YouTube, check it out, Swiss Army Man trailer.
It's very different, for sure.
I told Chelsea it looked like somebody found Harry Potter's dead body. It's still full of magic.
It's a Weekend at Bernie's for this generation,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
That's about all I can fully say about it. I haven't watched it 19 times like Eric, but a trailer I have watched about probably 23 times is the Rogue One trailer. I'm super pumped about that, but as it turns out, my co-hosts might not feel the same.
I watched it twice. It looks okay. I don't know what you're pumped about.
You don't know what I'm pumped about?
Nope. I don't see it.
Okay. Well, I have 10 pages of notes here, so I won't go over them.
Okay.
But, I mean, first off, it's Gareth Edwards. He directed Godzilla. I loved Godzilla.
I liked it. A lot of people didn't.
Yeah, I think his sense of scale and his character development is very good. So, when you see the Death Star in this trailer, it's massive. You've never seen it on that scale. You see the, Star Killer? Not Star Killer, the Imperial Death Star things or whatever, the ships. I'm blanking out.
The big long ship?
Yeah. You see those, and those things are massive because we see it in The Force Awakens. One of them's down. That's what they fly through.
Right, yeah.
And then to see these things next to the Death Star, and they look like micro machines. I mean,
when it shows the Death Star, it just shows it in space, so you don't get a scale of it.
Right,
so
right. It shows it off far, or if it's a hologram or something like that. But I did watch that about 20, 30 times, and I love the music. I've been trying to find that piano Star Wars music, and I can't find it, so I had to rip it off YouTube.
The only thing I didn't like, and a lot of trailers do this, and this part didn't, the dum, dum,
oh,
dum.
The Imperial Alert?
No,
Yeah.
well, no, that's the part I didn't like, was it sounded like somebody was stepping on Jar Jar Binks, just
Yeah.
it's loud.
Yeah, that's the Imperial
That part
Alert.
I didn't like. The other part also is like the Inception type trailer, or the large stuff, and that doesn't bother me. But it was the alarm part that was getting on my nerves. I just didn't like it. That's the one thing that annoyed me about the trailer.
I'm gonna be honest, it gave me chill bumps first time I seen it. With Forrest Whitaker talking, he's like, "What will you become?"
See, he took me out of it.
Why? Because his crazy eye.
Just
Ghost Dog.
to me, this is a story we've never known. As far as like it's
not the specifics of
right,
it.
The actual details.
You and I don't know it because we've never really read any of this books. I started to.
I know nothing about it. I just know what happened, but I don't know the details. And like all these other people are just no-name people I've ever seen and stuff.
Jen Ursa and all that stuff.
And then you see him, and it just I don't know. I wanted it to be.
Well, supposedly, his armor looks like Buzz Lightyear, but supposedly he's a bounty hunter. But
is that what he's supposed to be?
Yeah, he's there. Supposedly, there's bounty hunters chasing that Jen Ursa chick. Yeah, the girl, the very pretty girl, which I have something to say.
She's another one of those names I've heard.
Felicity Jones.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything in her.
I didn't know that was her, and I was like, "Who's Felicity?" And then that was.
It's the same thing with Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the name, but I just don't.
I made a note of it. I said 2 pretty female leads in the first 2 Star Wars movies. I mean, I like that. I think it's good because it gives different heroes to different. We had Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and I didn't. Carrie Fisher's okay, but she's not like the lead of it. I don't know. But now this kind of. It's okay to me. Like they're bringing good people in to do it, and they can actually act. I'm not saying that we could have got something else, but it's good to see. But I did like Forrest Whitaker in this trailer. I thought he was neat, and the biggest part was the AT-ATs on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
It's like kind of like storming the Normandy or whatever or something like that. And I don't know, but how do an AT-AT? How did they turn? Is it a wind-up toy and you point it toward it and it just runs at it? I liked it. It does show in this trailer how they're putting the Death Star together, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing they assemble, it looks like is the firing. The dish.
Divot.
Yeah. So that's what it shows like an engineering development on the third Death Star where it's fully operational, but it's not complete yet.
Right.
So they must have decided to start with the actual laser, which means they were getting desperate in the third movie.
So have you read the rumors that Felicity Jones is Daisy Ridley's mom?
Yeah, I think it's a little reaching. It might be Poe Dameron's mom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because the guy she looks at off to the side, he doesn't say anything in the trailer at all. It's just a quick nod.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. He kind of looks like what Poe Dameron would look like. I don't think that. I think they're just everybody wants to put their spin on it.
It's like one family is doing all this.
Well, I think the big thing is we don't know who her parents are, and so everybody's trying to link it to everything else. It's like, oh, she's a pretty girl. Oh, she's a pretty girl too. They both got dark hair. It's her mom.
Did you listen to Tell 'em Steve this week?
No.
They went on about what you're talking about, another pretty female lead,
mm-hmm.
and Q was saying they should. I can't think of her name.
What's she starring? I'll help you out. Let me feed you, baby bird.
I'll have to edit all this out.
No. We had a miscarriage last week. It's a bigger woman. Precious?
Precious. I know. Yeah.
So you want Precious to be in Star Wars?
He said put Precious in there. He just was talking about something different, but they went on about it. It was really funny.
It's okay. Precious is a good actress.
Has she done anything since that?
Yeah, she did American Horror Story and all that stuff.
I haven't watched it.
Well, supposedly she was pretty good in it. I hate American Horror Story, but yeah.
Chelsea and I tried to watch it because so many people said it's really good, and it just seemed like he was trying to be weird just to be weird.
I think it's that culture that wants BDSM and all that stuff that kind of got that.
Porn.
Yeah, they want some excitement in their life, and they get it out with 50 Shades and all that stuff.
It's like Real Housewives for torture.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about this stuff. I hate it.
Maybe not.
All right, so let's see here. I had another thing about it. Oh, Alan Tudyk. I was talking about with you how he does voices.
Mm-hmm.
He actually voices a robot in this, and you can briefly see it in the trailer if you go back and look at it. It looks like it's got a fat little body, but it's got long, spindly arms and legs. Supposedly, that's the rumors. That's his robot. They know he voices a robot, and I loved him as Calvin in iRobot. I think he's really good at portraying emotion through his voice.
Yeah.
And so
King Candy and Wreck-It Ralph.
That's it.
He's a good voice actor. He's a good actor.
And he supposedly is the droid that I think she's stolen and reprogrammed because he has the plans to the Death Star in him. And that's how they get the Death Star stuff. Not 100%, that's just theory on that. But I loved it. Like I said, I now have it as my text alert. You know, the little piano riff at the beginning. I love that. Yeah. And I'm trying to find it everywhere.
I did like the music
there. But, okay, that was mine. What do you got?
One more news that kind of Star Wars related. It's Eric Bauerfield died.
Oh.
He was the voice of
Admiral
Akbar.
Yeah.
He was 93 years old.
93.
4 movie credits. Return of the Jedi. AI.
Really? The Steven Spielberg movie?
Yeah, just AI. Crimson Peak, which came out last year, and The Force Awakens.
Crimson Peak.
You bought it for your wife.
Yeah, I know. I was just trying to think of who he would be.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird to have that big of a gap in between.
Apparently, he wasn't huge on movies. He just did it as kind of like a little hobby or something. Whenever he was asked.
Like one of them wasn't even accredited. It was just like unaccredited voice.
Well, we all love it. Yeah. We love it. It's a trap.
Yeah.
So,
no more Akbar.
Yeah, that sucks. But he was 93. You can't ask for much more than that. Yeah. Now, we did have a couple of trailers drop overnight. We actually had one this morning. You want to talk about a couple of those?
Yep.
Which one do you want to do?
Since we just watched Turtles.
You want to do the Turtles ones?
Yeah.
Okay. Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, I believe it's called. Mm-hmm. The second one. The trailer dropped this morning, the new one.
We saw one a couple months ago. This shows a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, it knows what it is. Mm-hmm. It's not too serious, but at the same time, it's not too kiddie. It's right
there in the middle. And, I was thinking about when the first movie came out, everybody pissed and moaned about how it wasn't their turtles, and it looks terrible. And the movie turned out to be...
You're talking about the last one.
Yeah.
I thought you said the first one.
Yeah, and the movie turned out to be pretty decent.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
And that just brings me back to everybody pissing and moaning about, it's not the story I want.
Yeah. Yeah, if this was 5-10 years ago, I'd probably be doing the same thing too.
Right.
But I think we've been through enough adaptions where I just watch it.
That means we're older and wiser, folks.
Yeah.
Well, older for sure.
Yeah. Well, you can't complain.
You see the Technodrome in it. We had hints that it built it. You actually see the round ball of it in this trailer. Casey Jones is in this trailer. He wasn't in the last one. Shows a little more Megan Fox in this one.
It doesn't show Krang, no.
It shows that robot.
They showed Krang in the last one, didn't it?
Yeah, it shows his face in the last one. But this one, it just shows the robot throw Leo off the top of the Technodrome there. But it looks pretty good to me. I can't wait to watch it. I need to go back and watch the first one because I was on third shift at that time. I was drifting in and out of it when we watched it.
It's one of those movies I put on and don't pay attention too much.
Yeah.
I'd have to watch it again.
But it has some good merits to it. Last night I sent you the new Harry Potter series.
The
Fantastic Beast and Where to Find Them.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks okay. It's Harry Potter in America, essentially.
Yeah.
I didn't like Colin Farrell being in it. I don't know why. It was just like with Forrest Whitaker. It just took me out of the trailer right
That's
away.
what I couldn't understand when you said that last night. I was like, why? He's not really... He just says no mortal man can do this.
I know, but then he also shows him with a wand. It just looks weird seeing him.
It shows him with a wand?
Yeah, it shows him shoot somebody with a wand.
Then why does he say no mortal man can do this? I thought he was a muggle.
No, I didn't.
I think
when you see this trailer had all these people, which I can't think of the main character.
So this isn't a real book. We don't have anything to go off of.
It's a book in the world.
Right. This is the first Harry Potter movie that I'm going to see that I haven't read a book before about it. So I don't know exactly if I don't have that excitement for it or if I don't have the love for it. Like when they said Albus Dumbledore, I immediately perked up. Yeah. But then at the same time, it goes back to being, it's almost like just quirky to be quirky in it. Like his mannerisms and stuff like that. I get it that might be his character.
When I hear the name, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, I think it's going to be like
creatures
going out in the jungles and stuff like that. And the whole trailer is him coming to America and
coming to New York.
Yeah, and then I don't know, maybe it just doesn't show anything.
Maybe they're saving it.
Yeah,
maybe it's just a lukewarm kind of trailer to it. So, high hopes, I guess. I mean, I love, we went to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I want a butterbeer right now. It's so good. We'll give it a mild interest on it for now.
I'm not turned off. I'm just
I will go see it. We will go see it for sure. So the big one, Suicide Squad trailer 3.
The Ballroom Blitz.
Yeah. Okay. So last week we reported that they were doing reshoots to make more humor. They couldn't have done the reshoots this week and edited it into this. So the film already had plenty of humor in it because this trailer is full of.
According to Jai Courtney,
I wrote that down.
Online, he said that's not why they're.
No, they wanted to bring in more action and more Batman, I think.
Yeah.
Said Batman is in it more than we were led to believe at the beginning. But it looks intense. Do
you think the Joker is the main villain for the movie?
No, I think he shows up while they're fighting the main villain. I think the main villain is that witch girl, a character I don't really know a lot about.
Okay.
She's possessed by a witch or something like that, and you have to see it like frame by frame. There's like mud all over her place and all that stuff, and like she has like this dark look to her. I think she's whatever she's working with, she might be just possessed. Has like this supernatural force dealing with it. You see those creatures with a bunch of eyes on them and stuff like that.
The trailer looks good though.
It does. I think it's going to open with all of their origins, like a brief, little origins with them, because we're going to need that.
Right.
A lot of people are not going to get it. You see that one girl get possessed in the cave by the witch. You see, Deadshot with his daughter, all that stuff. You see glimpses here and there throughout the trailers, and I think they'll focus mostly on Harley Quinn.
Yeah, it seems like she's
all the trailers seem to point to it, but it looks really good. We haven't had really a whole lot of time to go through it. The Joker looks pretty amazing, actually, in this. I
still don't like his look, but he does look better.
The only thing I don't like about his look is his teeth. That's it.
The teeth and all the tattoos and stuff.
Tattoos are okay.
Just the whole thing.
He's crazy. What do you want? I mean, in the New 52, he doesn't have a face, so he cut it off in the first Batman comic and stitched it back on. Yeah, it's pretty out there. So that was it. Oh, speaking of new trailers, there's a rumor that Doctor Strange trailer is gonna hit
drop today, isn't it?
Tomorrow on Jimmy Kimmel. So by the time I'll be getting home from work, I can get online and look at it.
We were talking about the Suicide Squad when it showed, I think, Harley Quinn fall into the water and Batman jump. I paused it.
He's got a rebreather on.
Yeah, he's got a breather on his face. Yeah. I was trying to. It looked kind of weird, so I was.
Yeah, you see like the little bat symbol on it. I was like, of course, he's bat branded on everything. It's George Clooney all over the bat card. But yeah, you can catch little nods to it and stuff like that. So I mean, there's even Common is in this movie, and we haven't seen him at all.
Yeah, I didn't see him.
I think he's one of the main bad guys too. He's supposedly playing like a tattooed man where his tattoos come alive or something like that. And you see this like green whip come out and hit a guy, and they say that could be one of his tattoos. Right. We just don't know about it because we haven't.
I'm more interested now, though. I am excited for it, whereas before I didn't really know anything about it.
Yeah,
the first trailer didn't have me wanting to see it that much.
I'm glad it's a little more humorous. Like I said before, it looked plenty funny to me, but I I know they didn't do reshoots for that.
Yeah, no, they couldn't have got that done that fast.
No. I mean, that's some hell of a working. But yet again, it looks like Warner Brothers have panicked on Batman Superman.
Yeah.
They panicked on the whole thing. So the news article was kind of confusing that I was reading. Said that they felt like they've had a bunch of movies not be hits lately. Mm-hmm. Like Pan, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and especially Jupiter Ascending.
I like The Man from U.N.C.L.E. though.
I really like The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and I don't even know the source material for it.
I don't either.
I thought Henry Cavill and Armie Hammer, the big giant man, did pretty good spies.
Yeah,
it had a lot of humor to it. Jupiter Ascending, I wanted it to be so much more.
Yeah.
But it was just...
It was okay.
Oh,
it wasn't bad. It just wasn't great.
No, it just didn't seem to go anywhere. Good world-building exercise, but no execution on it. So Warner Brothers have kind of dropped out of doing all that, and they're kind of focusing on their big hits like Harry Potter's. And
I read that they were going to do less movies and be more hands-on, which I don't like the hands-on part.
No, because anytime they've been hands-on, we've gotten a torn-apart movie. And speaking of which, there is a rumor that they're going to release the 3-hour cut of Batman Superman in trailers.
I read that too. They didn't have a date or anything.
No, it's just a rumor right now. I will go see it if it's there. But also, first reaction to the Civil War movie has come out of the people that have been shown advanced screenings to it.
I heard it's getting really, really good reviews.
Mm-hmm. I heard it's actually... I quote, "It's incredible," and Spider-Man steals the show.
Yeah, so you posted that you don't like that.
I don't like that. No.
Why?
Maybe I'm just a bastard about it, but the movie already has a whole lot of people that I'm interested in, like Black Panther, all that stuff. I don't think that shoehorning Spider-Man in and adding him in a scene. Did you see where they added him in the airport running scene?
No.
Where they're running at each other? You can see Spider-Man now. He's leading like Iron Man's side.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I like Spider-Man. I think it's shoehorned in. I think it's just added to it because we now have this character. I like him being in it a little bit, but I don't like him, quote unquote, stealing the show of it.
Right.
But I may be eating my words, so I hope I am in like 25 days or so. But they also say that Star-Lord and Thor are supposed to be in Infinity War. That's a rumor right now as well.
That's the next Avengers.
Yeah. But that's 2018, 2019, down the road. Same people that directed Civil War are doing those. The Russo brothers. But what other notes you got?
Cinemax, talked about last week. They had picked
up Boys.
Last week they had picked up the Outcast by Robert Kirkman.
Okay.
Now this week they picked up The Boys. It'll be adapted by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, who have just done Preacher.
Yes, and Preacher looks good.
I saw the little trailer they had on the Fear the Walking Dead, but did you see that one?
No, was that tonight? Last night?
It just showed.
Did you show him
driving
smoking?
down the road with a woman in it, and she shoots one guy, and her fighting this guy inside this car. It doesn't even show Preacher at all.
Really?
Yeah.
See, the first trailer showed Preacher.
Yeah,
Dominic
I didn't see that.
what's his name?
I haven't seen it.
It looks pretty good. You got me excited. I'd read a couple of Preacher stuff, but I've since gone back and gotten the others, and I need to read them. It kind of interests me. It's kind of, again, DC Vertigo, more mature subject material. Yeah. It's not Marvel, so.
But this is, The Boys, the book I talked about. That's one of my favorite.
It's supposed to be like the most graphic.
It's crazy. Like I said, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg are going to adapt it. Eric Kripke from Supernatural is the one that's going to write it and
Mike Kripke's Basement?
Kripke. That's all I say. Every time I see his name, I think of Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, that's...
Kripke. Also have Cloak and Dagger series picked up by Freeform.
Cloak and Dagger.
It's a comic series. I thought maybe you might know more about it.
It sounds familiar to me. Yeah, Marvel... the Marvel guy Cloak can teleport with his cloak. It like envelops everybody. It might be the same guy. I'm not sure.
I don't think it's... What I read on this article said that he could control shadows and she throws light beams.
Well, isn't Cloak in...
I think it's a different character. After reading what they had posted, it seemed like it was a different character.
Okay. So we'll talk more about that in Civil War talk later.
That's why put it on. That's why I first put it on there, and then I realized it said it was a different.
I was
character.
like, I know I just recently read something about Cloak, and that's what it was.
But it just seems weird. The Freeform, which used to be ABC Family, is the one that's doing this. So now they're getting into the.
Well, ABC is owned by Disney, and Disney owns Marvel and Star Wars and everything that we love.
We'll see how they might make it into like a teeny bop show.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
Never know. Anything else? Because I'm all noted out.
Let me do my last one. My last bullet point was this week in theaters is April 15th will be the Jungle Book comes out, which I think looks good. You said you were
lukewarm on it. Probably go to the small theater and see it if Michelle showed interest in it.
Yeah,
but
I'll doubt I'll go see it in theaters, but I'll definitely rent it when it comes out.
Oh yeah.
Criminal. The movie I was saying about with Ryan Reynolds, Kevin Costner, Gary Oldman, Tommy Lee Jones, Gal Gadot, all of them. It looks pretty good.
It's a heck of a crew.
Yeah, it was a good cast. But I'll probably another one. I'll wait till it comes out. Barbershop, The Next Cut.
No.
Yeah, not. Well, thanks.
Sorry.
And Green Room, the one we watched the trailer for with Patrick Stewart.
Oh yeah, the really intense. Like it. I don't want to see it because it just looks like tense.
Yeah.
Like even the trailer, like I watched the Red Band trailer to it.
Yeah, that's when I watched.
It was pretty intense.
It looks like a good thriller, though.
So is that all the news we got? It was a pretty hectic week. I mean, I know we missed a lot of stuff. Let's see here. I had a whole bunch more to say about Rogue One. I think it looks really good. I just want to say it again.
So, go online, watch the Swiss Army Man trailer.
What's the what?
The Swiss Army Man trailer.
Oh, yeah. Swiss Army Man
Not
trailer.
Rogue One.
And Rogue One. Add to it like I have. So we're going to take a little break here, and then we're going to come back and Civil War talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric read Civil War, so we'll be right back. We're going to talk about a little comic book movie event
I finally got to read.
That he finally got around to reading, called Civil War.
Spoiler! Spoiler! Spoiler!
Pretty epic. Do not think it will follow that in the movie at all.
Can't. I'm actually, I will say, a little less enthusiastic about the movie now, but only because it can't be so awesome as the comic was.
So it was so big. Yeah.
Because I didn't realize how big it. I knew it was a lot of characters, but I didn't think it was that many characters.
It's the whole Marvel.
Across that many different.
It's everybody but the X-Men, I think.
Yeah. Well, even the X-Men are even.
They're in the comic, but they don't
show up. It touches on them though, so it even gets there. So
they don't pick a side. The X-Men are a separate thing in Marvel. They're born with these. The rest of Marvel's characters are made. Spider-Man's bit, stuff like that. Stuff happened to them later on. The X-Men are a mutagen, so they have that mutation in them that causes them. So they've always been separate from the rest of the...
soaking that in, thinking about it. I was like, well, what about Martian Manhunter? Well, he's
DC.
To begin with.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But like Hulk had a gamma bomb dropped on him, stuff like that. And they've gone back and changed it, this and that. But that's boils down to it. That's what it is. Let me hear it.
It was awesome. I really liked it. It's one of the first comics I've read that are actually superheroes.
Okay, so
most of the ones I've read have been like The Walking Dead.
Yeah, as we discussed, Eric doesn't really read superhero comic books. He reads stuff like The Walking Dead and
which The Boys has superheroes in it, but it's not famous ones.
Right.
They make up their own.
Did you read Watchmen?
I can't remember if I read it or not. I know I watched the movie. I know I started reading it, but I don't know if I ever finished it.
It's a hard read to get through. But
I have it. I know I have it. I just don't know if I ever read it.
But this is Eric's real big comic crossover kind of thing. Like, he's invested in the characters now. I think that's what it is. Like, before, you never cartoons? it?
Just everything I got was from cartoons.
Yeah, and it was mostly probably Spider-Man.
Well, the X-Men cartoons.
Yeah.
All those.
Yeah, but these don't have really any of those in it.
Oh, yeah. I'm not talking about in general.
Yeah, but so if you've never read Civil War, there's a whole lot of extra characters in here that cannot show up in these movies.
Right.
Like, I think there's only like maybe 20 people, characters
in the movie.
In the movie,
yeah.
And there's hundreds in this one.
Yeah. And touching on not reading comics, it's with comics being around for so long, it's kind of intimidating because you don't know where to get into it at. And I don't want to start with the New 52 or something like that. You don't know where to start. And I feel like if I just jump into it somewhere, I'm missing a backstory. I'm missing all the little things that you don't know about.
But me personally, that's why I like trade backs. Trade backs are usually a contained story. It's either 6 or 8, comic books in there, and it will tell everything in that story. And that's what I really started reading when we started going to convention centers and stuff like that.
Right.
I would buy some comics here and there, but I would buy mostly trade because I wanted to know about the history. I wanted to know.
You're more about the reading.
If you go back and read Iron Man, Demon in a Bottle, it's all in one trade back.
Right.
The Planet Hulk, it's all in one trade. If I was to go back and get the individual comics, we're in a small town. It would take me forever to collect the whole run of it. But I can go buy a trade back and have it all there at my fingertips. I'm not collecting them for their money. I'm collecting them to read them. Yeah. But Civil War, I actually had to buy it recently again because I don't know where my other one ended up. It walked away when I walked away from Murfreesboro, I guess. So I bought it and I read it real quickly and I let a guy at work read it so he could get pumped, and then Eric said he wanted to give it a shot. Now, did you like why they had to register?
That actually feels like something out of The Boys.
Really?
That whole, the ratings, trying to do the little TV show, that feels like something out of The Boys.
Now, does this predate it, The Boys?
I'm not sure.
This is pretty old, 2008, I think.
I'd say The Boys probably predates it because there's at least 10 to 15 trade
paperbacks
out. Yeah.
Oh.
But it feels like that kind of world.
Yeah, where they have
That's
a reality TV series that follows this group of heroes around.
Right, trying to stop bad guys, and they go after somebody they shouldn't. That's too powerful.
Right.
A group that's too powerful for them.
Yeah, and
they blow up a school, essentially.
Yeah, they blow up 40 city blocks. That one guy goes nuclear on them, and he blows up all this, which forces the Registration Act. Mm-hmm. And with this Registration Act, was it...
all it does is require them to identify themselves, reveal their identity, and they'll actually become government, trained. Trained and get paid for it.
Yeah, they'll get paid for it, and they're assigned sectors.
Yeah. Eventually, they become one for each state.
Both sides of this argument has its merit.
It's not a clear cut one, good and bad. It's got the gray areas.
Yeah, and which is kind of surprising because SHIELD implemented it, and Stark and what's her name, the main lady on SHIELD.
I don't remember her name.
She's in the movies. Miss Hill.
I'm pretty sure it was Hill.
Yeah, she is actually the heat of it. It's Kobe Smulders.
Oh, that's her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So they come to Cap, and they're like, okay, we need you to round up these people. We need to get them all trained and all that stuff. We're going to have you lead the team. He's like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
He's like, what made you think that, we have our secret identities for a reason.
Yeah. We have our family and friends that we have to protect from our arch nemesis.
Mm-hmm. And they do bring it up with Peter Parker, especially.
Yeah, he's the shifting point, kind of.
Mm-hmm. And, he's the shifting point twice in this story.
And he says something on there, I didn't write it down, but essentially it was like, what happens if I come home and my loved one's impaled on an octopus arm?
Yep, Mary Jane. And
is that something that actually happened, or is he just saying that as an example?
As an example.
Okay.
Because that's essentially why you don't give up your alter ego to supervillains.
Right.
Because if I had an enemy who knew who I was...
Your family would never be safe.
Right.
That's all they have to do is go after them and hold them hostage.
Because they could come after me all they want, and they'll continuously lose. But if they go after, my wife
people.
or my, aunt could kill him, without me knowing. So he actually, Spider-Man's on Tony Stark's side, and he gets that extra Spider-Man suit, the red and gold with the extra arms.
It didn't have a big reveal for it. Like I figured it would be like, oh my god, it was just he just kind of pops in with it, wearing it.
Another downside to these trade back paperbacks is they're not the whole story. They're the main central story, but Marvel.
There's little branches that they don't.
Marvel is
put in.
Well, they're both terrible for this, but I think Marvel does it even more. They'll put crossover over crossover over crossover. I mean, if you were to get every one of those that had this Civil War prelude and all that stuff with it, you're talking hundreds and hundreds of comics. Right. With it. And I think they revealed it in the Spider-Man comic.
Okay.
Where it showed all his tech and all that stuff. It's a pretty neat suit.
It doesn't really get into it much.
No, not in this. And then it shows he reveals himself. That's the big thing about
on camera in front of the world. He takes off his mask and tells who he is.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, oh, whoa, it's like the most guarded Marvel.
Jonah Jameson passes out.
Yeah, that was kind of a little funny thing. He's like, oh. He revealed his identity as a stand to say, hey, I believe in the government helping us.
You should do this, and so should you.
Mm-hmm. So they showed him doing that, which led to the Sinister Six and all his greatest villains coming after him.
Mm-hmm.
And they pretty much almost kill him. The only person that saves him is the Punisher.
Yeah, he was in the sewer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he shows up at the Resistance, who have been fighting against Tony Stark, and it's been growing and growing. And Reed Richards is in this.
Yeah, he's a big part of the
he builds.
Registration Act.
That's why they can't do a whole lot of the story in it. But he builds a prison in 42 in the negative zone.
Yeah,
and that's where it's.
What is the negative zone?
The negative zone is in all the Fantastic Four stuff. It's
like another dimension or something.
Yeah, when they go to it in the movie, but they screwed that part up. That's what it is.
Oh, the new movie? I haven't seen it.
Oh, don't. It's
is it that bad?
It is astonishingly bad. Wow. And there's actually news. I read it, but I didn't write it down. It says that Rian Johnson is the one who leaked the movie onto the torrent site.
Who's that?
The director.
Oh.
The director of Looper and all that stuff. He actually leaked it because the studio was pissing him off or something like that. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I know there was a lot of
man, if you watch, we're gonna go on a side tangent because if you watch this movie, it's like there's a clear spot in the middle where everything it stops, and you start up a whole different story, and everything you don't even see the main villain till 5 minutes
at the end.
Wow, it's terrible, and it's all studio interference. I know it was a pain to make that movie. There's scenes in it that have been in trailers that you see where the thing drops down and he's attacking some military stuff. You don't even see it in the movie. It's literally the movie is all one prequel building up, and then it stops. There's a clear spot that it stops, and then it tries to tie it all in at the end. I want
to watch it to see how bad it
is. It's pretty bad, and they say Batman Superman is as bad as that movie. There's no way. No way. But anyway, that was a side note there. Yeah. So, Reed Richards is there, and so Sue Storm is there with him at first.
Johnny Flame gets attacked right after this happens by a group of citizens.
Citizens, yes.
Just breaks a bottle over his head. And
he gets put in the hospital.
Yeah, pretty
badly.
bad. So she's constantly going back and forth between Richards and
she doesn't know if it's right to be out and about. Their identity is known because they live
public,
there. Yeah.
When it happened.
But she doesn't think that it should be fair that it happened to other people, unsuspecting. Because if, somebody somewhere knew that I was a superhero.
They didn't have that choice to make.
So it shows a big battle where Thor comes down. And apparently
that's a note I have for you. What happened to Thor before this?
He's been missing for a while.
They just don't know what happened
to him?
Yeah,
he went away. He was tired of bickering in the world and stuff like that. So apparently Thor is a badass in the Marvel universe for sure. And so when he lands and they're all fighting, it's like everybody stops because, this is the return of Thor, and, and he actually kills Goliath.
Yeah, he just blasts a hole. Goliath is like bantering with him, like, we're going to go at it. And he just blasts a hole right through him.
He blasts a hole with him with a Mjolnir or whatever it's called. Yeah. Everybody is shocked. And so this is actually the turning point for the Resistance to gain followers. Sue Storm actually gives up.
Yeah, she leaves.
She leaves Reed Richards.
Flame goes with her.
She doesn't believe in that fight where they will kill. As it turns out, this is not the real Thor.
No, he's a cyborg.
Reed Richards and Tony Stark had made it from a strand of his hair. And so they're like reprogramming it and all that stuff. So that's really big. And then when Spider-Man gets almost killed, Punisher brings him to the Resistance.
Resistance base.
He brings it to him, and they don't believe in the Punisher because they think he's a psycho.
Yeah, I don't understand why they were so put off by him.
Against him, yeah. I mean, because he's...
I thought they'd want any follower.
Yeah, he's not a hero, though. As he proves later on, like maybe 4 pages later.
Yeah, 2 villains come to join their side, and he just shoots them dead.
He blasts them, and Cap beats the holy hell out of him.
And he refuses to fight back.
Yeah, because Captain America's his hero.
Right, he's a good guy.
He said, not you, Cap. I won't fight you.
Yeah, he's another war veteran.
Because you got to remember, Captain's from World War II, And so...
They even say that. I think they said that's why he joined the Vietnam War was because of Cap.
So it all comes to a big head. Like, there's this huge battle, right? I guess we'll jump to that at the very end of it, where they're going all out, and there's people that have set out, they try to recruit the X-Men, but the X-Men don't want any part in it. They just want to stay.
They tried to recruit Black Panther and Storm, and they actually show up at the end.
Yep. But
Namor shows up.
Yep. They have a huge, huge battle. They end up killing Thor. Hercules rips him apart.
Yeah, he tears his head in.
Yeah,
with his Hercules' hammer.
Oh, he uses his own hammer. So they're coming to it, and I guess Captain America has a moment of clarity. He looks around and sees all the people.
Yeah, they're just destroying
the civilians. Yeah, he looks around and seeing civilians are hurt and stuff like that, and he realizes that he doesn't want. Above all else, he doesn't want the civilians to suffer for it. Yeah. So he just lays down. He just surrenders.
I think it's that, and he's saying, this is just good guys doing all this damage.
Yeah.
Just because they're fighting amongst themselves.
They're supposed to be the good guys.
Yeah, and it's him turning himself in just stops the whole thing.
Just because he was the leader. He's the face of the rebellion, pretty much. And so when he turns himself in, it kind of ends that story. And like you said, you thought he died in this trade back. No, he dies almost right afterward. He's walking up these courthouse steps, and he gets shot. And you don't know who from the comic that I have. You don't know from who. You just see him laying there. And Tony Stark is in the bed next to him, and he says it just wasn't worth it. All the fighting and stuff like that. And as it turns out, it was his girlfriend, Agent 13, who's actually in the movies. He's that blonde lady that lived down in his apartment. She was brainwashed, and she shot him. It's a very good story, but I don't think most of the elements will translate to the movie, which is kind of why you said you're not as excited for it. But I think I am, because I think I'm trying to see where they're going with it.
I just said, knowing the original story now, knowing how epic it was, I know this won't be as big. Do you think there'll be anybody that shows up that we don't already know?
Well, no, they ruined it with Spider-Man.
Well, I'm just saying, do you think that's a red herring to keep you from knowing about the other ones?
We don't know who Martin Short is in it. Is it Martin Short? Martin Freeman. Martin Freeman from Sherlock. Yeah. Yeah, we don't know who he is. We don't know his agenda in it. We've discussed the person in the tank. We don't know who that other guy is. I don't really know. I mean, there's already like 20 people listed. I don't know who else could come in.
It just seems like you have to do it. Knowing how epic it was, big, you got to at least bring somebody out of nowhere.
Maybe the Hulk. I don't know.
That's another one. Who's the Hulkling?
Hulkling?
The Hulkling.
Oh, from the comic itself.
Yeah.
He was a kid.
Because he looked kind of like the Hulk. He looked like kind of like an emo Hulk. He had hair. Yeah, he's kind of shaggy.
He's a kid.
But he can morph.
Yeah, they mention it a little bit in that comic. It's like Tony takes him under his wing, and you don't know why. I think it's it's alluded that it's a genetic mutation, but like maybe something was done to his mom who worked for Stark.
In the comic, he disguises himself as Hank Pym.
Right. Yeah.
He's their
he
way
can
into
change.
the
Yeah.
cells and
That's right. I can't remember. It's been a little bit since I read it, and I
just never even heard of Hulkling until I read that.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of secondary characters that you wouldn't get, like that cloak guy.
Yeah.
You know, he teleports them all out of there, and that's what I was thinking of. Is that the guy?
Right.
I've only seen him in another comic, was the Dark Avengers, that I'd read last year. So that was Civil War. It's a brief synopsis. We didn't really have notes on it. We just kind of briefly went through it. I'm excited for the movie for sure. I think having Black Panther in it it's still got me pumped. I know I'm going to love the Spider-Man stuff. I just don't think it should be the focus, but I'm also not like a 10, 12-year-old boy.
Yeah. And it might not be that big. It might have just been he had some funny jokes, and that's what everybody remembers.
Yeah, and he is the Marvel. I mean, that's the most popular Marvel
iconic
person. Yeah, that's kind of crazy to think, but he is. But
that's the first movie they did really well. As far as our generation, probably was
Spider-Man. Yeah, it kind of brought it all on.
That's the one so many kids and everything latched onto. So I can see why he's the favorite.
Yeah.
It'd be cool just to see somebody we don't expect show up, just the surprise. Everything gets ruined so fast nowadays because of the internet.
Let's think about it. Hang on one second. This is a surprise segment. We didn't know we'd be doing this week, but as it turns out, I finished Daredevil, so we're gonna talk a little bit about
Daredevil
season 2. So I finished it earlier in the week, and you finished it on your vacation.
Yeah.
So what'd you think about it as a whole season?
As a whole season, as the first season to me kept getting better and better as it went. I feel like this one had highs and lows. Like it'd get really good, then it'd have lulls, and then get a lot better. The Punisher was awesome. He was to me the highlight.
Yeah, I think the first 4 episodes were the best of the bunch with the Punisher. I mean, it did get better. I know I come down hard on Elektra.
Yeah.
At those first 2 episodes, she's really
I can see why I didn't like
unbearable.
her either. Yeah.
Then she gets good, and then she gets kind of unbearable at the end of it again.
Yeah, I didn't care for the whole her being the chosen one for what you call the black.
It seemed like they didn't answer enough questions for me. And it did the opposite effect. It doesn't make me want to come back. It makes me think I was toyed with.
Right.
I don't know what the big urn is for the Black Storm or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know why they dug a hole in the ground.
40 story deep.
Yeah, it's like 40 stories down or whatnot. None of that was answered in the in the show at all. It kind of ended. To me, Daredevil's about the hand. Kingpin was always Spider-Man to me. For whatever reason, I always saw him in that cartoon. And I always associated him with a Spider-Man villain. The Punisher, never associated with him at all. I always associated him with Spider-Man mostly, because that's the first appearance of Punishers in a Spider-Man comic book. So to bring these people into this show and they're awesome, kind of shows the strength of this. This world they're building on Netflix. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I want to know about the hand. I know Daredevil fights the hand. I know it's ninjas. All this stuff is cool. They can master heartbeats. They're dead. They're walking dead. I don't understand any of this stuff. Like,
it's like with Lost. They're throwing out too many question marks and not answering it.
Almost. I mean, I want it. I don't want it all just listed to me, but I think the season could have been great if they cut out like 2 or 3 of the trial. I mean, I really liked the last one of the trial, but other than that, maybe the build-up and the foggy stuff, the fighting, all that stuff.
Like the internal bickering between them.
To me, I just wanted the grander universe, and that probably speaks more to me than most viewers on it. Most viewers want the personification of the 2 people talking to each other. They want him and his best friend. They want to build the characters. But for me, I want to know about the universe. Like, why are they walking autopsy corpse? Why are they...
Yeah.
How does Nobu come back?
It wasn't all of them. It was just that one guy, wasn't it?
No. Nobu come back. The guy they'd killed at the hospital, he'd already had a autopsy performed on him. So I think the whole clan, that's why he can't hear their heartbeat. Because there is no heartbeat. So it's kind of... There's a whole lot of questions there to be left. And it would be great if, like, in a couple of months they'd have season 3, but they won't. You know, it'd be about a year and a half.
That's another problem with this Netflix binge watching is so long. You'll have to watch the whole thing again right before the next one comes out.
And I guess I tried to space them out, absorb it. I know. I have a little bit of time before work every day, and I tried to watch one a day because I binge watched the first season. Yeah. I mean, just...
But even doing that, you're going to be done with it in a week and a half anyway.
I think the best action scene in this series is the Punisher jail cell hallway fight. You know, they wanted to talk about Daredevil going down all them flights of stairs. I think the Punisher's fighting in the jail
is brutal.
It was pretty brutal. Yeah. And then I liked when Stick and Daredevil and Elektra all were fighting, but it just didn't seem to lead anywhere to me.
Like, the whole her trying to kill Stick. And
the one scene that really got me was when they shoved those wooden planks under his fingernail.
I hate torture.
Oh, that was rough. I was like, no. I was like, oh, bamboo slits underneath all his fingernails. That makes my skin crawl thinking about it. Other than that, I
like the scene where I can't think of what's Daredevil's real name. I'm blanking.
I'm gonna wait. Ding, 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 ding. Nelson and Murdoch.
Matt Murdock.
There you go.
I know there was another like Peter Parker.
Yeah,
Matt Murdock.
Yeah, that's the Marvel trademark, pretty much.
When Matt Murdock goes to see Kingpin in prison, and Kingpin like beats up on him.
Yeah,
I like seeing that he was actually flustered and actually showed like he was scared, kind of.
Yeah.
Because too many shows they always make the good guy always super powerful, and
he come in with all these threats.
Yeah, he felt like he was the big guy for once, and
because he knew about his woman getting the money and all that stuff. Kingpin just went to town on him, kind of like what he did with Punisher too.
Yeah,
I mean when they fought, it just shows you how big a baddie Kingpin is.
Yeah,
and he did have a real quick rise to fame into jail.
Yeah, I felt like it was too quick. But
money talks, I guess. You know, I mean, just think about security prison guards are paid, $18 an hour, if that, something like that. Yeah. And if somebody come to them saying, hey, we're going to be doing some stuff here, but you'll get $1 million a year or something like that. I mean,
I guess.
I
feel like, I don't know, it just seemed too quick to me. But
I don't know. I guess that speaks to the type of person Kingpin is. You know, he's a ruthless, mogul, I guess. You know, he's gonna...
Do you think the Punisher will be back? Do you think he'll be a reoccurring character throughout the next seasons?
I think he'll have his own series.
You think so?
I think he will. I think he was... I don't know if it'll work, but I think he was a good part of this season. Like I said, the best episodes to me were the first 4 with him.
Yeah.
One of the most striking images in the show is when he's in handcuffs and he stands in front of that American flag.
Yeah.
You know, it lingers on it for a minute because, you know, he was a war hero and, you know, all that stuff. So he's a very, very complicated character. He's got many layers to him.
Yeah.
So he's like Shrek.
Like an onion.
Yeah. Ooh. Kates have layers. But that was our little thing on Daredevil. We had a whole lot of stuff to talk about this week. Maybe I can convince them to talk more Star Wars next week because I did all this homework and nothing come of it.
You can still bring it up.
Nah, I mean, we'll run long. I mean, but it's just a breakdown of what we saw in the trailer itself. You know, we didn't even touch about the lady who played Mon Mothra or whatever.
I know who that is.
Well, she's in the original series, and this lady looks just like her. I mean, just like her. It's crazy. I'm excited. But next time, maybe we can talk about some of the Doctor Strange stuff. You know, I posted that funny video on our page of him jumping. Man, that stuff is... And I'm sad we didn't get to go to Walker Stalker Con because I think it would have gave us a chance to get our name out to some people, and we could have had those little stingers at the beginning of our episodes, stuff like that. We actually had cards to hand out that links to our website that we actually got up and going. Countdowntogeektown.com. It's not the most fancy website in the world. It's just straightforward. It's a utilitarian one for sure. You just go to podcast and, you can subscribe on iTunes through there. And we hit over 50. So that's kind of big for me. I know we're just two idiots. I was
surprised you said that. I didn't think we had that many.
Yeah, we're just two idiots. I don't know how many people actually listen to it, but if you just subscribe, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, we just do this for fun, and sometimes it does feel a whole lot like homework trying to learn all this stuff. But at the same time, even if I wasn't talking about it, I'd still be talking about it, to somebody. This stuff interests me. It interests you, I know. So we're getting into the prime season for this stuff. We got Civil War, X-Men, all this stuff coming out this year. And you just never know what's coming around the corner. Like last night we had 3 major trailer drops.
Yeah.
And we talked about them. We barely got into them, but there's so much stuff we could do. Again, I want to thank you all for sticking with us. This is our 1 month anniversary, I guess.
Yep.
Pretty close to it.
4.
Yeah. So I do like our new website. I like the way it's listed out. I do like the way it's going, and we're getting better every episode.
Yeah. We have a Skype page. You can search for our Skype. It's just Countdown to Geektown, all one word.
Right.
If you want to leave us a message or a question.
Eric wants to do voicemail messages, stuff like that. Give it to us. It's on Skype. What'd you say? Countdown to Geektown?
Yeah, just all one word.
All one word. If you want to, just list in.
Any questions you want to ask us? Anything we can touch on?
You guys got anything to say about anything that we've talked about? That would be cool. We're actually looking into maybe a
giveaway,
a giveaway, a little contest. We're gonna
bring a little interaction to the show.
Yeah, we're gonna bring a little contest to Facebook. Probably is how we'll distribute it on our Facebook page. It might just be something as simple as liking and sharing.
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
We still gotta break it down. So.
Yeah, we're gonna have some just nerdy, geeky goodies that we've collected over the years that we just want to pass on to the next person.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you guys updated on that. Just go to our webpage, go to our Facebook page, all that stuff.
You can get there from the website.
Yeah, it's not hard.
Yeah.
But I do try to post some funny stuff on it. I like to keep it a little lighter. But I've enjoyed having you over. Thank you again for coming over. And thank you guys for listening. This has been Countdown to Geektown with Jessie.
And
Eric. We'll see you later.
Check you later.
Countdown to Geektown.
But
right. Okay. Right.
But yeah. But
right.
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 Right. And right. But